Hey, this is Don from Padlock Technologies again with another video. This is video number 2 today, but it's an important topic and I wanted to get it out now because I don't want to forget about it. So, what we're going to talk about today is we need to stop blaming something like Cisco ISE or any kind of NAC solution for something that Windows implemented in their operating system. Now, what I'm talking about is the infamous Credential Guard. That is a Windows implementation on their software. So I'm going to tell you what it's going to do or what it does now that it's implemented, especially for people that's going from Windows 10 to Windows 11. I'm going to tell you what it does. I'm going to tell you a little backstory about the authentication protocol that it breaks when it comes to network access control and why you're pretty much being forced to go one way because of this. Now, again, this has nothing to do with Cisco or any other NAC solution that you implement. This has everything to do with Windows. So if you're not prepared for this, you need to definitely watch this video because it's going to save you a lot of headaches down the line if you don't move in that direction that Microsoft is pretty much forcing you to go. Now, if you get any value from this video, all I'm going to ask you to do is share, comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you anything but a click, but it helps my channel out a lot. With that being said, let's go to the whiteboard. All right. So we're at the infamous whiteboard here, or blackboard, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to talk about, I'm just going to say CGs, all right? Credential Guard, right, in Windows. All right. Now, we're going to get some terminology here from a 802.1x perspective. So we're going to have this thing called an outer method, and we're going to have something called an inner method. So I'm going to explain what that is. So the outer method is PEEP, right? Something like PEEP. ETLS is kind of not like an outer inner method, but like I'll say PEEP, TEEP, and eat fast, something like that, right? So the main thing that Credential Guard does is you have back in the day before they implemented this, when you would sign into a Windows machine, I'll just use a Windows machine here, you would sign in, and if you had 802.1x configured on the port, what would happen is you would have a protected EAP tunnel. All right, so here's your PEEP, and this would be considered your outer method. And this is the actual terminology, so I'm not making that up. All right. And then the inner method would be MSChat v2. MSChat v2. And what that would do is that would take your login credentials and it would send it across in a NTLM v1 hash. All right. That's what gets sent across the wire. That's what we use to authenticate the ISE, and everything would be, hunky dory. Everything is cool. All right. Now, with the introduction of Credential Guard, what Credential Guard actually does is it puts like a little secret VM somewhere in the operating system that houses these credentials, and it basically locks PEEP and MSChat v2. It basically cancels this whole thing. So what it will do instead, it basically says, I will not allow the operating system to send an LM NTLM v1 hash, basically MSChat v2. I will no longer allow the operating system to pass those credentials. Why? Because for some odd reason, Windows is like, oh, well, technically, somebody over there at Microsoft was like, well, this could potentially be stolen if someone were to break that PEEP outer method, right? I could understand this if it was just raw MSChat v2, no tunneling, no outer method, but they decided to implement this. So what does this do when Credential Guard is activated? Well, from now on, when you plug into the switch, it will prompt you for a username and password if you still have MSChat v2 enabled. Doesn't When I say it breaks it, it breaks or it denies or blocks the single sign-on function with MSChat v2. So it will not take your credentials that you logged in with and pass it on to ICE, right? It won't use any of that, right? What it will basically do is when you plug in, if you still have MSChat v2 turned on, it will prompt you, we'll use yellow here, it will prompt you in the operating system for username and password. So now this is no longer a passive thing. This is a active authentication. All right. Now, from a CX perspective or from a user perspective, users will get pretty pissed off of every time they plug into a jack, they got to have their username and password prompt up and they got to type it in. One or two times they may get away with it. They may be cool with that. But if it's like every time, as soon as I plug into a wall jack, I get prompted for my username and password. So I'm basically logging in twice. From a user perspective, they don't really like this. So what is the workaround? There really is no workaround because, well, technically, let me not say there's no workaround. You could technically turn Credential Guard off, but that turns off other security features that are in the Windows operating system. Now, what operating systems does this affect? It is Windows 11, right? So that's the first thing. Windows 11 is going to be affected, and then Windows 10 Enterprise and Education Edition. Now, most people don't run Windows 10 Enterprise or Education. They usually run Windows Pro, right? And if you got Pro, you don't really have to worry about this, right? Because it's not in there. But since Windows 10 is now rest in peace itself, everybody's going to Windows 11. And unfortunately, this is turned on by default. Now you can turn it off in the registry or using GPOs, but like I said, if you turn this off, turns off other security features. And for the most part, you are going to have a battle with your security team because they do not want to turn that off at all. And obviously, for security purposes, they don't want to do that. So, what is the method that Microsoft is forcing everybody to do because of this? Well, we got to go to certificate base, cert base auth. You pretty much have to do this. So these are for the people that, this is very important for the people that want to get into network access control going forward. If you do not have an internal PKI, so you can push out certs. I don't care if it's the cloud-based PKI. I don't care if it's secure W2. I don't care if it's your own Microsoft internal CA. If you don't have this in place or plan on putting this in place, NAC, to me, in my opinion, is a non-starter. Don't even talk about it if you're not willing to do this. Man, I must have spelled that actually nasty. It's a non-starter, man, because you can't get, a lot of people are going to try to blame ICE or whatever, NAC, FortiNAC, Forescout, all that, and it's really not the NAC solution's problem. It's a Windows issue, right? Microsoft decided to implement this, and now that's going to mess up your NAC solution if you're still using Peep with MS Chat v2. And when I say mess it up, I'm just saying from a user perspective, just like you just saw on the other slide, they're going to be prompted for a username and password, actively having to log in every time they, put the cord into the jack, or if they sign into an SSID that is using MS Chat v2, they're going to be prompted for it every time they do it. And you, from a help desk standpoint and from a IT department standpoint, they really don't want to deal with that drama. So what you need to do is start getting yourself prepped for the new way you're going to have to do network access control, which is cert-based authentication. So you need to get, like I said, I have a video on here about cloud PKI, right, with Intune. You can do that. You can use Intune with the cert connector. You do that. You do Intune with the cert connector, right? Something you got to do. You have to use Jamf for Macs, or you can use Intune for Macs, or you can do secure secure W2. Whatever you got to do, Microsoft pretty much said, for security purposes, they said, we want certs. That's it. And since we own the operating system, we can tell you what you need to do and you can't really do anything about it. All right. So that's really the thing that I'm seeing the most, getting questions on the most. And I decided to make a video to answer, hey, what does the future of network access control look like when Windows has now implemented Credential Guard? So that's really it in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got some value. Like I said before, if you did, please don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. If you got any comments or any questions about this and want me to go into a little bit more detail, this is kind of an overview of Credential Guard and why that's pretty much going to break your neck. Deployment if you don't have certificates in place. When I say break it, means active. Now you're going to have to do active username and password authentication because of Credential Guard. This is Don from Parallel Technologies again. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you, and have a nice day.